let us forget spites and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. And do not believe I am naive to think that everyone will come, or the people who will come on the project to at least give the impression that they're here to build. And of course, there are some people who will come on the project and they come to build and they're serious about developing country and building communities and so on. But there are people who will come on the project to slow it down. There are people who will come on the project to sabotage it, to undermine it. So not everybody you see being advisor or being on some committee or being on some board or being in something as it relates to the transformation agenda, it means that they are genuine or they are sincere. There are people who are there to undermine the agenda. They will give you the impression that they're on board and that they're NDC and that they're pro-government and that kind of thing. I see a lot of NNP, people who were front and center with the NNP in recent times, who are cozying up with certain individuals or certain departments, and because they want to survive, they want to live, they want to continue their usual lifestyle. All right, that is what they normally do. They would cling towards a person who can get them stuff, right? There are some people, again, because a person is popular, because a person is liked, they want to ride on that wave. They want to ride on that bandwagon. So you hear them calling programs. You hear them saying you could call me at any time in the night. You could call me at any time in the day. This is my number. You know, they want to be relevant. They want to be important in the scheme of things, right? There is constituency offices available for constituents to go and see the MP. But because they can call a program and they can say X and say Y, they believe that they're important in the scheme of things. So not everybody that comes on the project means that they are there to build and to transform. There are those who come with agendas, who come with secret agendas. There are some who hate our beloved Prime Minister, and to get at him, they would gravitate to another MP, right? And they would try to front and push and say certain things just to make the supporters generally angry and bitter and sour against certain things. There are people like that, right? And they come with baggage. They come with an agenda. They never, deal with people in any warm and friendly way in all their life. They've been around for a long time, but they were never people oriented or a people's person. They were never mixing and mingling with the ordinary people. They were always up there and playing bougie, right? And over time, whatever they were involved in, family business or whatever business, that start going down and down and down. You don't stay up forever and ever. There are some businesses that used to be top of top during the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. And after that, it's just downhill. So I am saying we are aware that there will be people who are going to come on the project site with one objective, and that is to slow it down or to sabotage or to undermine, to weaken. That is their objective. They don't want to see this place transform. They don't want to see things move in this country. That is why every time you listen to the opposition forces, those pundits and surrogates and supporters, every time you hear them talk, it's just about negativity, negativity, negativity. They are not interested in developing this country. They don't want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. That is why you're not seeing them out there volunteering. That is why you're not seeing them partaking in any community events and so on. But if NNP is in power, of course, you will see them out there, man. They will be the first to be out there because they're about their party. They're not about country. Because whatever party or whatever party is in power, if you're a community organizer, if you're a person who's involved in, the community and trying to do good for your community and your country, you will be involved. You will be there front and center doing what you must do to develop country and community. But there are those who, when NMP in power, man, they're doing all kind of stuff. They're organizing this, they're organizing that because they eat enough food, because they have access to this and access to that. And many a times they are doing those things to make the policymakers feel impressed, to impress them so they can get more, so they can get this and get that. I always say to people, the folks who do things quietly, who do things without looking for praise, who do things without looking for any commendation or applause, these are the genuine people. Genuine. They want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. So we have a lot of people right now who fronting, who pushing up because they want stuff. They've always, done that. They always ride on the backs of politicians to get certain things, to acquire certain things. And you always would find that, no matter what party is in power, you will find that. So we are not fooled. We know there will be people who are going to come genuinely to develop country, to transform communities, to better the lives of other people. And that's kind of normal. But then you would have those who would come with their own agenda, their secret agenda, and they just hell-bent on undermining and destroying and breaking down things. And mind you, I want to say this. It is important when you on social media to monitor who commenting under certain things. That's very important. In this world of politics, it is important to monitor. So if there is a post on Facebook or on Instagram, it is important to check it out and look at who commenting, who sharing, and when they comment, what they are saying. And especially if it is something that is gathering a lot of attention, just go under it and click, look at the picture, look at the person, and then you can move differently to suit. Because there are a lot of people who are pretensive. They are pretending that they support you. They're pretending that they like you. They're pretending they want good for you. But go on social media and you would see the kind of comments, the kind of attacks. And also look at those political meetings. When the NNP is having their zonal meetings, take some time and look if you're really interested in that. And look, you don't have to view to say click to become a statistic as somebody who viewed the meeting. But you can look on YouTube in particular. You can just look and not click and become a view, right? And look at the people who are attending those meetings. that would give you a good clue. So it makes your canvassing easier, especially if the meeting is in your constituency and in your area. If you can't go around in person to monitor who's going to those meetings, and you can, because with technology, you can actually see faces. And I do that regularly. I look at those faces and you get to know some of these people. They put on their green jersey and they go to these meetings. Then they still come to you and they fight for roadwork. They fight for material assistance. They fight to be in this program and they fight to be in that program. They want to be on seed. They want to be on this. They want to be on that. They want their road fixed. They want their drain fixed. Yeah, these are the same people. When things are being given out, distributed, they want to be first and they know how to do it. They would come and play thing around you and make you feel that they're on your side. They just want. They want to be fed. They want to be clothed. They want to be housed, right? They want things to be good for them and their family. So they would play the game, but you have to balance it off. So it's so important to monitor online when the news is being carried, when somebody put a post or some video, check it out. Sometimes it's good to look at the comments and look at the person who's commenting. I do that regularly, and you get to know who is who. There are some people who I know, they would be around me, and I just start moving different with them. They don't know. Well, why? Why this man moving different with them? I'm moving different with them because I discover them. I get to know where they stand politically. And once I get to know where you stand politically, it's a different ball game altogether. Because I would not go and dine with my enemies. I will not do that. Because my enemies can do anything to me. All right? I don't do that. So it's always good to get to know. Yes, you could have a friend who support the other side, and they might be your family member or so, but you know to what extent you go with them. But I'm saying generally, it is important to know where these people stand. It's very, very important. Don't be naive and believe that everybody on your side and they're supporting you. In this game called politics, it's a game. If you don't know, it's a game. It's competitive. You have to know your enemies and you have to know your friends. It's important. And for those who have been around long and you're hardcore and you're this and you're that, sometimes it's good to let the MP or let the key folks within the constituency know that you're a supporter and that you have been around for a while. And they will be able to vet you and check you out. People are going to be able to tell them whether what you're saying is true or not, because they're pretty young, the folks who are there, and they may not know too well that you were involved before and that kind of thing, right? Sometimes you believe that they know, you assume that they know, but it's important to let them in on where you stand and so on. Sometimes they're going to check you out, they're going to get to know what's going down. But it's important to identify your foes from your friends in the world of politics. Because not everybody who comes around and grin their teeth and laugh and so on are on your side. There are those who know to navigate the system, to get certain things, to get contracts and to get this and to get that. And they pretend a lot, but they're eating a food. You have to get to know what's going down. It's not easy outside here. It is competitive because between now and the election, if you want to know who is who, just wait when it's closer to the election. Just wait when it's closer to the election. Let's say a year before the election. You would see the true colors of those NNP supporters. You hear me? Just wait. All now, they're all cool. They're playing the game. They're riding the tide. They're trying to befriend this minister and that minister, right? They're trying to be close to that person within the NDC and close to that person and close to that person because they want. But when the election comes closer, they all about their party. They want their party to win. And then you see their true colors. You have a lot of them who are pretensive, pretending they are wrong, certain MPs and wrong certain ministers and so on. They're not genuine. They're not sincere. They don't want to see this government succeed. A lot of them. There are those who want to, but there are a lot who don't. And all you need to do is to check it out. That is why I monitor nearly all those programs, those opposition programs. I do that. I monitor it carefully to check out who is who. And I monitor the posts on social media. Many of those NNP folks, when they come on and they start to post certain things, I just block them and I get rid of them, right? So I record them somewhat to know the name, the face, and so on, and I just block them off because I don't want to be having these people as part of my friend list on Facebook. Because you see, because I have a lot of friends, because my page is popular, they can get assistance from the page. Meaning when they post stuff, my friends would see what they post. So if I block them out, then they would not get a chance to spread the misinformation and so on. So generally, when those NNP folks come, I just block them out. I don't need to see them on my page, you see? But when it comes to the podcasting and so on, those folks will show up under those NNP or opposition podcasts and programs and so on. They would show up, and some of them are tempted to type and comment and say certain things. So it's important that you follow these things and you get to know who is who. You get to know who is who, because in politics, you cannot believe that everybody is your friend and that everybody wants to see good for you, and they want your best, or they're seeking your best interest. Don't believe so. No. There are a lot who are around you who just want certain things. And once they get that, they could care less about you. They're going to play the game nicely to get certain things. But all you need to do is to monitor. And again, another clue is to look at the people who they are socializing with, who they are around, right? Who are their friends. That's important. That's very important. I remember years ago, if you want to know who are the key NNP supporters, you go to a particular shop in Grand Mall, right? Just pass there and you see who is who. So that too could give you a clue. You got certain spots, certain locations, and you know who is NNP, who is NDC, and who are the friends of this one and the friends of that one. That's how you get to know what's going down when they have events. So, for example, the NNP, they have some kind of event coming up at Pier 57 for what, $300 and something, something around there. Some kind of gala, some kind of event they have, right? So you have to monitor that, because a NDC would not go to an NNP event like this. No way, Jose. Not even if the husband or the wife is NNP. They would not go. They would not go around NNP like that. You see? So you have to also monitor that too. Who going? Where they working? Whether they're attached to government, whether they're attached to a board, whether they're on a board of directors, right? Whether they're in a statutory body and what role they play in there. You have to monitor all those things. That's intelligence in the politics. You want to know their meetings. And, I remember during NNP time, you had the special branch, for example, as the NNP administration, the special branch. You had special branch police officers who would go at nearly all NDC events, gathering intelligence, gathering intel to find out who attending, who is who, and who is who, and who is who. Right? That's how you get to know what's going down. You want to know who on your side, who's supporting you, who genuine about all of this. So you have to monitor all these things, because a serious, genuine NDC will not go to an NNP event. Period. They will not go. They don't. And with technology, you're going to get to see certain things after. So if they want to see, they would see certain things after, but they would not spend their money and go to these events. All right. So I'm saying that's a good way to gather intel, to gather intelligence, to make decisions, to go about with, governance and so on. Because in every constituency, you have NNP and you have NDC. And don't believe you can quickly turn an NNP into NDC or turn an NNP into somebody who's going to support you quickly. Don't believe so. They're going to pretend. A lot of them would pretend because they need certain things. They're good at that. But sometimes you have to think about the politics and getting the votes, right? The votes of your supporters, maintaining them, keeping them. That's important. Very, very important in the scheme of things. Because there are a lot of those folks who pretend. They pretend because remember, in the last election, the NNP got 28,000 people to vote for them. And don't believe that 28,000 people going to just change like that overnight. Don't believe so. No. You could give them a road, you give them house, you give them material, you give them all kind of stuff. They go play nice with you. But when election time comes around, you're going to see them. 28,000 people with all the bad things the NNP administration did. They still went out and voted for the NNP. I mean, the NNP lost the election, right? But they got that amount of votes. And it says something. Any political analyst will tell you that these 28,000 people who voted for NNP, they are the base. They are supporters of the NNP. Maybe 1% or 2% were just, in the middle and they decide to support them. But with a candidate and leader as the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and this young team of men and women who are not involved in the politics, to say deep in the politics of this country, they were fresh, they were new, right? They put forward good plans, good programs, and everything else. And still for all, 28,000 people went and voted for NNP still. It says something. It says a lot. You can sit and analyze this for weeks and months. So it would not happen overnight, meaning you can't change some of these people overnight. It would not happen. Because the mere fact that the NNP was in power for so long and they did so many things that people displeased about as a administration, and some of these people still went out and voted for them, it says a lot. So we have to be very careful and mindful of that. Not everybody who comes around and skin their teeth or grin their teeth, it means that they are on board with you. There are people who received material assistance. There are people who received roads and drains done. There are people who received cash assistance from, recently as a farmer or a fisher. There are people who receive assistance from CES, the $30,000 grant. There are people who have been regularized as a public officer. There are those who receive pension and gratuity. There are those who receive, the 13% increase. There are those who receive the dock salaries that the NNP administration took from them. There are those who work at MCC and got the payout and the money from government. There are those who, get all kind of assistance in so many different ways. And you hear them. Just go around them quietly and you would hear them. Because they still supporting the NNP. You hear me? No matter what. So you could imagine some of these people who are marching, demonstrating, protesting for their pension and their gratuity, under the NNP. Yes, they were supporters of the NNP, but the NNP never gave them the pension and never gave them the gratuity. They retired, and for 4, 5, 6 years, they did not receive a pension. They did not get the gratuity. The NDC came into power in a matter of months, paid them the gratuity, and paid them the pension. But because they're NNP, they will never support NDC. Don't matter. NDC came in and paid them the pension and the gratuity, and they get in the pension every month until they die. They still not supporting the NDC, even if the NDC did that for them. And they were marching in the sun, hot sun, and rain, and all kind of elements. They were marching without getting the pension and the gratuity. NDC paid it, and still for all, they do not appreciate that. And they would still support the NMP. Some of these people. Not all, but some. Then you have some hardworking public officers who were out there matching for the pension and the gratuity. The NNP dock their salary, take money from their salary. The NNP say, you ain't work, you ain't getting paid. Took money from their salary, $1.2 million. So the pension and the gratuity, the government paid $75.1 million to people who retired and did not get a pension and the gratuity under the NNP for all the years, right? The doc salary, $1.2 million. They took from the teachers and public officers' salary. And they had work to rule and that kind of stuff. But do you know that some of these people are NNP supporters? Even if they get back their money, they still supporting the NNP. You hear me? I'm telling you. Yes, there are some people who had small businesses, medium-sized businesses. Under the NNP, they withheld the money that came in to assist small and medium-sized businesses, after COVID-19 to bounce back and to, start back the business and get things going again. The NNP did not give them that money. No. In fact, only the Taxi Association, they give some loan that they had to pay back through GDB. Some soft loan that they give them. A certain amount of money, if it's 3,000 or 4,000 or up to 5,000, something like that. But generally speaking, they hold the money back. The NDC came into power, they realized that, They decided to give a grant of up to $30,000 to small and medium-sized businesses so they could bounce back. And also startups, people who started their business because of that. $30,000, They didn't have to pay back that money. The people who received that, they didn't have to pay it back. And still for all, you have some of those folks who are hardcore NNP, supporting NNP. They could care less. They got that assistance. And then you have some farmers, right? Yeah, Beryl Pass, it affected the farmers throughout Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and fishers. But when Ivan passed, the NNP did not give farmers any money, any cash payout. No, they did not. And that's a fact. The NNP administration did not give farmers any payout, any cash payout after Hurricane Ivan. That did not happen. You hear me? In fact, agriculture was abandoned. They never paid any, attention to agriculture and planting back and focusing on that and helping the farmers and so on. But the NDC did what the NNP did not do. The NDC gave cash payout to help farmers who get 9,000, who get 4,500. The fishers, again, they got assistance. The owners of boats and so on, they get in assistance. And we can go on and on. But still for all, some of these farmers will still support NNP. No matter what, they will still support NNP with all the assistance that they got. Yes. So it's what it is. Not everybody will come and grin teeth is your friend or genuine about this. No. Then you have public officers who had to go out in the streets and protest for a little increase. Yes. You thought that when the increase and the negotiation, everything come around, it would be an easy thing under NNP. When that thing came around, the workers had to go out in the street, the unions had to go out in the street and march. Because the NNP would say, the NNP administration would say, I'm giving you 1% or 0.5%, right? 0.5%. They would offer them a 1.5% and that kind of thing. The NDC didn't have to do that. They didn't cause workers to go out on the streets and protest and fight and all kind of thing for their money, for their increase. The NDC gave them 4%, 5%, 13%, with all the fringe benefits that they never got under NNP. And you listen to some of those same public officers, some of them, not all, but some of them. Some of them still supporting NNP, no matter what, because they love to be under an abusive administration who treating them that way. The NNP administration was abusive. And then you can look at other things. The houses, right? The Build Back Better houses. When Ivan passed, NNP built back some houses, but just as how they were before Ivan, they never added any bathroom and toilet to those houses. They never paint those houses. They never did electrical and plumbing work in those houses. No, just build back some old little thing for people all about the place. But still for all, now you have a situation where the government is building proper houses for people, costing $85,000 with bathroom and toilet facility in it. They painting it. They giving you the electrical work, the plumbing work. They're doing all of that. And still for all, some of these people will still support NNP. They will still support NNP, some of these people. I'm telling you. Don't believe that everybody who gets in those houses would support NDC. You're mad. In Grenada, you're joking. You have some people who they added to the seed program. I mean, everybody cannot be added to the seed program, but we know everybody would like to get that free money every month coming from government. But they add them to it, and still you listen to some of these people. You just go and listen to some of them. And then you look at some of the other programs that government has, the housing repair program. They get in materials. A lot of these people get in materials, and still for all, you hear them talk. You wonder what's going down. The government would build new schools. So you have a new school being constructed in St. Andrew. They're also going to do the rehabilitation center up in St. Andrew, Maribor area, right? Then they have the new hospital that they would build. Then you have the Molyneux Road construction. That's almost complete. You have the Fort George construction, almost complete. You have the police headquarters, almost complete. And then you have some schools to be constructed, like the St. David's Catholic Secondary School, the St. Andrew Anglican Primary School. There's another school in St. David that they will be constructed. You know, a number of schools. And they refurbished some, renovated a number of schools and so on. But even with all of that, the community centers in some areas were refurbished and upgraded, playing fields upgraded and lit. You have playing areas in parks. Come Park expanded, more lands there, and you can go on and on and on. Medical stations refurbished, upgraded. They have dental service in some of those medical stations and centers and so on. Right? More doctors hired. And we can go on and on and on and on with all of those things. Still for all, you have some folks who support NNP, they don't care. They would still support NNP, don't matter what. So not everybody that comes on the project site is genuine and sincere about development and about transformation. No. Nope. And there are some people who never worked in terms of getting NDC into power. They pretended. You have a lot of people who are hiding in the back, hiding. NDC win the election and won the election, and you see some of them fronting now and fronting now and fronting now. But a lot of these people, they were never in the front line. They were afraid because they never thought that the NDC was going to win the election. They were never front and center. They were hiding. You see them come to meetings and they have their plain clothes. They never wear. They wouldn't wear NDC yellow T-shirt and so on. You're mad. The ordinary supporters will do that, but not them. They're hiding in the back. They're way out. And then in the communities, they don't want to do canvassing and campaigning and calling people and encouraging them to vote for NDC and so on. No, a lot of these people were afraid. They never, very few people thought that the NDC was going to win the election. Don't make them fool you. And who say they did poll and they predicted that the NDC going to win and them is the only one who predicted it. It's a damn lie. It's a lie. A lot of these people were afraid to show themselves and come forward because they thought that the NNP were going to win again because NNP had all 15 seats. All 15 seats. They never thought that was possible. I mean, I was here encouraging people and saying that it was possible. It's well known. But a lot of these people, they were hiding in the back. But NDC win, all of them all of a sudden become NDC. All of them fronting, all of them playing this and playing that because they want this and they want that and they want to be this and want to be that. Come the next election, they're going back in their hole again. They don't go out in the front and campaign. They don't go and do field canvassing, knocking on doors, speaking and articulating and convincing people to support the MP in that area. Many of them cannot even speak for that. And if they could, they're not doing it. But once NDC wins the election, man, you see them, they lining up for work. They want to be here. They want to be this. They want to be that. They want to be all about the place. And then they say, well, they qualify. Qualify for what? Qualify? In politics, once you win the election, you can put whoever you want anywhere. Qualify. Do you know the amount of young people who have 2 and 3 degrees more than you, who've been there and you, saying you qualify for what? There are young people with 2 master's degrees already. Some have PhD, some have 3 master's degree. Because some of them, they do the 1-year program or 2 years, and they just pile it up. Qualify? Some of them, they front in, and they this and they that, and they qualify. And qualify what? Once you win the election, you can put anybody where you want, in any position. In the small island states. Right? It's what it is. But these people who say they qualify and they think and they front in, they don't even know their neighbors. They cannot even convince the people in their house to vote for NDC. They cannot even convince their neighbors to vote for NDC. They don't do that. They just want to walk when NDC wins the election. That's what they want, front and center. That's how they do it. And you see that every day. But I am saying that is what it is with the politics. A lot of these people. So not everybody that comes on the project site is serious and genuine about winning and about making sure that you win. I see some of these people and I just laugh. They were way outside of the fence in some of those rallies. Right? Yeah, way out of the fence. But you have a lot of them playing thing and they used to be there and they walk there and they help so and they help so. On election day, you haven't seen them. They're even cooking a little breakfast to feed those foot soldiers, those outdoor agents and indoor agents. They're not even providing their transport. They're going to vote for themselves. They're not even picking up 2 or 3 people with them who supported the NDC to bring them to vote. Right? Yeah. They were not front and center in all of this. Nope. So I am saying not everybody will come and front. Because with all the good things that the government is doing, some of those NNP supporters, they're going to still remain that. And they will still seek to undermine and come election, close to election, you go see stupidness. You go see some of them. You will see some of these people. All right? The NNP not going to return in office anytime soon, I could tell you that. Because once you have power, it's a hard thing to just lose it like that. It's very, very hard. I could tell you that. When you have power in any small island, you have the purse, the public purse. The opposition, look at them. They're like fish out of water. We're not even helping to clean up. They're not even helping to do anything in the constituencies, anything in the communities. They don't care. Because they're waiting, they go bomb the gum, waiting to get back into power. Because they believe the only time they could do things is when they're in power, when they're in government. They can't do anything outside of that. They're like fish out of water. And that's what it is. That's the reality. That's how they function. And it's like when they're in government, they never had friends. They never made friends. Business people, investors, developers, whatever. They never made friends with these people. So they can't go to them to ask them for nothing, for no help, no assistance. And generally speaking, when you lose power, people really study you again, you know. You're in power now, people all over you. But the minute time you lose power, they just push you aside and they go to those who are in power. And that's how they do it. So you have to always work to maintain power, to remain in power. And that is what the NNP did for over 23 years and a half. Because they were in power so long, they had a lot of loyalty and so on. But when they get out of power, people don't study them anymore. They don't study them. You're mad. Check it out. They don't study these people. Nope. They don't. And just check it out and you would realize there are a lot of people who are not genuine. But there are some genuine campers, right? The NDC, at this point in time, has more people supporting them than when the election occurred. You have more people in the diaspora who appreciate the NDC over the last 2 years and a half. They grow to appreciate them, right? They grown over that period of time to appreciate the NDC more, and the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and the team. And there are more young people who are happy about the NDC and who love the NDC and who wants to see good things happen for the NDC. And those in the middle, there are a lot of people in the middle who are not NMP or who are not NDC, who just want to see the NDC succeed because they believe that the NDC means well. And the team of people, they mean well for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Right? And then you have the hardcore NDC supporters. You would have one or two of them a bit disgruntled, a bit sour, one or two of them. But generally speaking, the masses of NDC supporters, they are solid with the NDC. Some of them may not be always in every event and everything of that sort, but they are solid with the NDC. So NDC has grown in terms of support and people backing them and defending them and supporting them throughout. And you just have to just observe what's going down, and you'll realize that NDC is solid like a rock. Solid, solid, solid. I'm not saying that everything is perfect. I'm not saying that everything is, what you want it to be. But at the end of the day, you just go around. People see the NNP as a dying breed. Come their convention, they're going to have a convention, I think, on the 15th of December. They're going to have a lot of melee, a lot of stupidness go happen before the convention and even after the convention. A lot of stupidness is going to happen with the NNP. I could tell you that. A lot of bacchanal, a lot of melee. Peter versus Emlyn Pay versus Dwight Oswald, Dwight Oswald versus Peter, and Keith Mitchell still in the ring. Because all of them fighting for leadership. Right? And there would be a whole mess happening with them. That organization is not stable in my belief. And it will continue like that to just go down and down and down and down and down until they end up in the center cemetery. Right? Like the GLP. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to change anytime soon. So the bacchanal just start. All right? So we have to just continue to do what we are doing and be politically smart as we do things within the different constituency. And the folks who get a little blind, maybe you are NDC or maybe you got a brick, a little blind with the government. Maybe you're in the constituency office. Maybe you're in some ministry, some department, and you're a key person helping people in different areas. Do not get too big for your shoes. And do not believe that you're a public servant and you're this big public servant dressing nice and going to work and playing thing and wrenching on people and looking down on people. No. Remember what got you there. What got you that little work you have is the NDC party and the supporters of the party who voted for you, right? Sorry, who voted for the MPs, the candidates, and they became MPs, members of parliament, and they become ministers of government. Remember, that's the ladder. That's the root. That's what happened. So the NDC is responsible for you getting a little work, because if NMP was in power, you would not get that work. You must always think about that. Every time you go to work, think about what got you that work. Not because you have a first degree or a second degree, some master's degree or some bachelor's degree. No. You had that degree before. How the NNP did not hire you and give you work and give you this and give you that? They did not, because they don't see you as one of them. They don't. So not because you get a little blind and you get a little work, you become bigger than everybody else. You're looking down on people. Maybe you're on a little board, right? Or maybe you're in some constituency office, or maybe you're in charge of the seed program, or maybe you're in charge of the housing program, or maybe you're some community person, something with some kind of program or something like that, or maybe you're in some government department as this or that, right? Maybe you get a little blind there, but don't make it get to your head and believe that you're some big public servant. And no, if NNP comes into power, they're going to make you go. They're going to get rid of you. It is simple like that. They're going to get rid of you. So what you need to do is to work to make sure that the NDC remains in power. So when you go there to execute your work, remember to look out for the NDC supporters. and look out for the people who are going to get your party back into power, so you're going to continue having that work. You hear me? That's important. Don't get swell-headed as though this thing about the constituency office and this one. The minute time if there is any change in government, and we don't envision that happening anytime soon, but if the NNP is in power, they're going to get rid of you. They're going to fire you. You're not going to last a day. In fact, you may not even go to work the next day because you know they're going to fire you. But you knowing all of that, you don't think you need to take certain steps to make sure that you remain there, to make sure that the NDC remains in power? Yes. So when you go there with a little special project, like a drains, look at this, you got to think about the people. You understand the point? And try to identify your people, the supporters of the NDC, and make sure that they're taken care of. You who are in the field and out there, don't reach on nobody and don't look down on anybody and anything of that sort. Even the bushing program and so on. You understand? I see one or two of them NNP getting contracts and so on. Even if you're trying to play nice, during NNP time, that was not a possibility. No. During NNP time, it's just NNP people getting the contract. So you have to balance it off. You have to balance it off. So you might be in the office, you might have a friend who might be an NNP and one who, but you can't overlook your people for them. No. You're mad. Wait. Got to look at your people and focus on your people always. Because come the election, it's your people that are going out and vote for you. Your supporters and people who are in the middle who like the government and so on. Those in the diaspora and otherwise, they're going out and support you and vote for you. But the NNP supporter, they're going and vote for their people, their party, and they don't care. They don't care. So you have to balance it off. So don't believe that you get like a work and you're a public officer. You're no public officer. You hear me? You're a political appointee. You're a political appointee. If NNP comes in power, they're making you go. They're getting rid of you. They go talk nice now to make you believe otherwise. It's only the NDC who would come in power and get rid of this one and get rid of that and get rid of that. I'm telling you. Look at the maintenance gangs and so on. The NDC just leave them there. They ain't get rid of them. No. There's some other programs, they just leave these people there. They ain't get rid of them. No. Only the NDC who does that. When the NNP comes in, they cleaning house, they getting rid of that one and they getting rid of that one, they moving that one, police commissioner gone, PS, public cabsec gone, this PS, that one, they're shaking up everything. They're moving people here and moving them there and moving them there. That's how they do it. I am saying, do not get swell-headed. You're no public officer. You're a political appointee. You're in a constituency office. You're this officer and that officer. You're a political appointee. Look for your people. Support the NDC people. Make sure that they're happy. You don't have to do it in such a way that, you're abusing the situation. No. But you have to balance it off. If you have 10 to give, you could give 8 to your people and 2 to the others. Or 7-3. You could balance it off. You could do it like that. Nothing wrong with that. But don't get swell-headed. You're a political appointee. Today or tomorrow, NNP in power, they're getting rid of you. And they put in their people there. And the same people who condemning you now and say, well, you only give your people in it. These same people will be glad. They will be happy once their party in power and NNP there, and they're doing that, they have nothing to say. No problem. Sometimes you just make decisions and do your thing. Let them run them out. I know what I'm talking about. You hear me? Because I see today some people who, when Keith Mitchell sent me a pre-action letter, you hear me? They were jumping for joy. I go under the live and certain programs and I check out their names, I check them out. They were happy. Today, I send an opposition force pundit and podcaster a pre-action letter for defamation and so on. These same people hating on me and condemning me and Kem shouldn't this and Kem shouldn't that and Kem is this and Kem is that, Kem say this. The same people, you joking. You joking. You have to understand. Understand this thing. NNP will always dislike me and dislike you and dislike our prime minister and the NDC because the NNP want to get in power. So those supporters and so on, they would pretend, but they didn't like NDC. All right? So that is why when I heard one from, what do you call it up there? It's not Subi's, no? Either Subi's or Maki. She always front and center with the NNP. She call her program and saying, well, she's a taxpayer, and this person there is not a taxpayer, and the NDC and that, and she want material, and she apply a much long time for material to fix your house and to fix this, and she ain't getting what she see the next person get. I say, I say, that is how it's supposed to be. I say, yes, that is how it's supposed to be. You're big, you're upfront, you're with NNP, let them help you. And they were in power. Why didn't they help you? Why didn't they help you? Say, yes, that's how it's supposed to be. Fix the other person, fix them other folks. Yeah, put her in the back of the line. Because you see, you can't be too nice with these people. If you're too nice with these people, they go bite you up, you go end up in problems. Real problems too. You hear me? So you have to be focused, understand the mission. The politics dictates that you crush your enemy. That's why the politics of small island politics dictates that you crush your enemy. You don't make them get a chance, upper hand on you, because they go take you down. It's what it is. And you take care of your own. Let them say, boy, the big calf in the yard is yours. And you're taking care of that big calf. And bull in the yard, the bull and the calf. Right? Yeah, let them say that. Taking care of it. You have to balance it off. That's what the politics dictates. Some people don't, look, some people would never like you for that. Because some people believe that they're Christian and they believe that them alone could go to Jesus Christ. They do all kind of evil and all kind of nastiness. But they believe them alone and they righteous and they this and they spiritual and they that and they this and they that. Yeah? I always, let me tell you this, sir. Anytime somebody come to me, during the last 10 years or so, and they talking about Jesus Christ and they preaching and they pastor this and they that, and I get to know that they're supporting NNP, I ain't want them close to me. And I don't believe nothing what they say. Okay, remember, there was once I said, if you're a pastor or if you're a spiritual leader and you're a person who support and believe in Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, you can never support NNP. You can never, ever support NNP. No matter what. With what you see NNP did to this country in the last 23 years and a half, you can never, anybody who come in front of me and they say that they're professing to be this and that, and pastor this and pastor that and ladies and any one of them are coming in front. Once they supporting NNP, you can't come in front of me. You're mad. Any one of them. Because they stood right there and they watched NNP do all kind of bad things in this country as an administration. And they said nothing. But now you hear them and they praying and they this and they playing this and playing that. NNP, all of them. A lot of them, NNP. Think they see in God's face? I'm not a judge. They don't see in God's face. No matter what way. So I am saying not everybody that comes on the project site is genuine and sincere about building this country, about transforming this country, about making this country better. Not everybody. They're going to come and pretend. And in politics has its own morality, its own rules, its own everything. Politics. So don't come on, you're playing Mr. Nicey Nice and playing. No, you're mad. The person you're playing Mr. Nicey Nice for, they biting you up if they get a chance. You're joking. Nice. NNP, you could be nice with NNP. NNP supporters. Nice with them. I know about them, I could tell you. Nice. You're joking. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. Just think about it as a relationship. Look at the NNP supporters. The majority of them, they po, and they still supporting NNP. And the NNP not helping them to come out of poverty. The majority of them, they illiterate, they can't read, they can't write, they cannot reason, and they still supporting NNP. Some of them, they're not even hygienic. They're not well kept. You just check it out. They live in certain conditions that are deplorable. The house, how they dress, how they take care of themselves, and they still supporting NNP. They're catching the royal to make ends meet. They have a whole pile of children. and they still supporting the NNP. They don't care. They love that kind of hardship. They love that kind of struggle. Some of them, they don't even have a pipe in the house. They have to go by the standpipe and jug water. They're using candles still and masanto and lantern, but they're still supporting the NNP. See some of them, check them out. Just check it out. The NNP supporters, they're accustomed with that kind of hardship. They're accustomed with that kind of treatment. You can't go and try to treat them too nice and play nice with these people. You're mad. They're taking the same nice shoes you give them and they turn around and kick you with it. You just meet them, you want to go and give them manicure and pedicure and nice high heel, fix up the fingernails and the teeth and the hairstyle, give them all kind of human braid. Is it human braid? You have human, braids that human hair and human weave on and human this and human that, costing pound crown. Then you help them, they get a little education again, they go back to school or whatever they get a little car, they get a little thing and they start to get a little work. Now so they start to wrench on you and show off and play thing and look down on you and say all kind of things about you. You can't do it too quick. You gotta be gradual. The minute time you're doing it too quick, they will get too bright on you. NNP supporters, you're joking. I know about them. Check them out. In any community you go profile them. Easy. Easy like 1, 2, 3. You gotta take your time. Take your time. Gradually. The minute time. And mind you, when I talk about these things, they hurt them. A lot of them NNP supporters. They just hurt them. Hurt them bad. But that is how you have to say it as is, raw, unfiltered, straight in the face. Right? So let me just write. So that's 1. I'm blocking you. Right? So you gone as 1. Anytime you see you talk about it, just talk about them. And you see they come under the live. So that's another 1 here. All right? Block that 1. And then you block that 1 here again. You understand? 2. So I blocked 2 of them already. 2 NNP. Yeah. 2 NNP. Right? Yes, man. So going on the right. So let me see. Yes. Right. 2 NNP. I blocked them just like that, just because I spoke about the fact that the NNP supporters, they are poor. The majority of them poor. They are poor. And the NNP kept them poor. The NNP administration. They kept them poor and they kept them illiterate. A lot of them cannot read, write, or reason. Right? And then they live in terrible, deplorable condition. The NNP never helped them. The NNP administration never helped these people to get out of that poverty and out of that condition. They kept them there to exploit them, in my belief, for political means, to get the votes every election. You look at them, they have a whole pile of children. They make a lot of children in those households. They're not upping themselves and bettering themselves. You can't change these people. You can't. Yeah, the minute time I talk about it, you see 2 or 3 of them, he juke them and the surface, I just block them and get rid of them. See? Very important. Just block them out. They're there. Get 1 or 2 of them NNP, they will come under the live and they're there. In the meantime, they comment, just blocking them off. And they can't access nothing that I do, no programs of mine, nothing like that. On YouTube, on Facebook, nothing. I just block them off. Yeah? Some of them, they're not even hygienic. They're unkept. You look at them. But they train them that way. You see, poverty is not just physical, Poverty is also mental. In the mind. Poverty of the mind. And that is what it is. So you can't change these people very quickly. No, they would not turn that way. A lot of these people who I know some of these NNP supporters donkey years now. I knew them poor and they still poor. And they make a whole pile of children and they remain poor. Same way. But the NNP is not helping these people to better themselves and up themselves and improve themselves. No. They're keeping them that way. They're keeping them that way. And when election time comes around, they just go straight and go and vote for them. You just check it out. Some of these people, they don't even know what's going down. Look, TAMCC, for example, they have an email system that they send emails to all the students, right? If there is no school, all the students get in the email. The classroom, them teachers, they have this WhatsApp group for all the students. Secondary school, they have a similar thing. In all the classes, they have a WhatsApp group. Primary school, same thing. Private schools, public schools, same thing. But still, you would have some of those NNP supporters who would call the Plead Your Cause program and ask, you say, Shaggy, you have any school today? Shaggy, you have any school today? Yeah. That's how they operate. And that opening today and this up, they don't read. They don't research. They don't have no access to nothing. And even if they have access, they don't even care. That's how they operate. Yeah. And they call and they blame Nawasa and they blame Grenlek and they don't even follow the news. They don't follow nothing. They're waiting for when Keith Mitchell and the NNP start to bump the government. They run with what they say. That's how they operate. That's how they operate, folks. You got to get accustomed to it. So you got to focus on your people and build your numbers among your people. Because the NDC, I say to people, the NDC has a larger base of supporters and voters. Some people say, okay, I'm just, you're wrong. Well, look, I said, no. I said, historically, when the NDC supporters are not pleased with a certain leader for the party and certain team of people, they don't go out and vote. But look, they were pleased with Deacon Mitchell, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. They were pleased with him. You know, at the time he was Deacon Mitchell, lawyer, attorney at law, came on the scene with his team of men and women, and he put a nice team together, right? Young, middle-aged, elderly is a good mix. And then the NDC supporters, they wake up. They were activated. They wake up. Don't believe a lot of NNP people go and vote for NDC. You have some pundits and some analysts who say a lot of NNP people go and vote for NDC. What's wrong with all you? What's wrong with all you? 28,000 people still vote for NNP, and when NNP people go and vote for NDC. The NNP base is not large as much as 28,000. No, the NNP base is about 25,000 people. The NNP base. You hear me? So don't fool yourself to believe that NNP supporters go out and vote for NDC in any big way. Or maybe 1% or 0.5%, half a percentage. Yeah. The NDC people were activated. And then you have those in the diaspora who pick up the phone and call their loved ones and call their friends and call their people and activate them and get them to go out and vote and register and vote. And is that the NDC people go out in their numbers, the 33,000 plus people, right? And I can fairly say out of that 32,000 people out of that are NDC people, NDC supporters, solid NDC supporters who never liked Keith Mitchell and who never liked the NNP and who would never support and vote for the NNP. I am telling you that. Maybe some of them was disgruntled and over certain things, but generally speaking, it's NDC to the heart, to the core. And their children would grow up and be NDC too. And then you have the folks in the diaspora. We activated the folks in the diaspora to appreciate what's going on. When is the next election to see the amount of people from the diaspora who would vote and would participate in the election. You're joking. Who registered and waiting patiently to come back and vote. Because once you're registered and your name on that voters list, nobody could prevent you from voting. Nobody. As long as your name is on the voters list. They could say all what they want to say. Once you could prove it's you on that voters list, they cannot stop you from voting. None of them. Could be an Indo agent for the NNP. They can't stop it as long as you're registered on that voters list. Remember that. No matter if you could be in Timbuktu now, as long as you come back home as a citizen and you register and your name on the voters list, you could vote come the election day. Prepare yourself. Right? And as long as we have the NDC base going out and vote, excited, going out and vote, and the people in the middle who not NNP, not NDC, but they love the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team, and they go out and vote, and the people in the diaspora vote in their numbers, NNP will be history. They're getting real blows again, real licks, plenty blows, because people don't want to see the NNP come back in power. The NNP supporters, they would like to see the NNP come back in power. But the majority of people don't want to see the NNP come back in power because they know what the NNP did to this country. They know. They don't want the NNP back there. You're joking or what? You're joking. But folks, we have to remain focused, keep our eyes on the prize, and remember, not everybody who comes on the project site is genuine or sincere about the development of the country and making sure that the NDC looks good. Not everybody. All right? And not because you get a little work in a constituency office, or you get a little work in a road office, or you get a little work in some ministry, or some kind of program that agriculture has, or health has, or education has, or whatever. You know what I mean? Not because you get a little lie. It means that you're a public officer and you're dressing up nice and you put on your high heel and no. You're a politically appointed person. You know what I mean? It's the party that bring you there. If NDC not there, then you have a problem. They go make you go. All right? The NMP will make you go. It's what it is. That's how they function. When they come in power, they getting rid of everybody. Who they believe, those support them. And people go talk, they go talk, but that's what it is. Folks,